Dust. Proxy calls? What is it talking about? Are these still needed? Which do you mean? Hello, Donchanovsky. I have the feeling I might have to look at the commit that added is, because I have no idea what it refers to. These outside the namespace Vulkan. What? It's pretty clean, I think. Let me just do a git blame of something and then grab all that. Excuse me. Yeah, can I not just do a show of a single file? That's my fix me. Wait, there it is. Yeah, see, that's annoying. It was just moved. Don't know. I still don't know anything. Maybe if I check out this, I can do it again and then I'll get the actual commit that added it. Check out. How does that work? Why check on reference not a tree? What? No, of course it's not a tree. Oh, it's something else. Can I do like git checkout this one -1 or something? And then if I look at the div, well, this file. No, we have another one. Git show fix me. Oh, that's a real big ad here. So they are forward declared, and it seems that are only being used inside this red deleted stuff here. Well, not this one. Then again, maybe just move it down. I think I'll make a copy of this. Class. Yeah. Right. Git checkout master. And then edit that same file again. And then check. Well, the first one is mbfix owner. That's still there. It's not needed. So maybe we can indeed just remove this one. Maybe that, what is this about? I didn't update the description, so what I'm doing now is look at fix me's that I added. This was the first fix me. No, it seems to compile, although you never know until it reaches the end. Okay. What about the add vertex chainer? Seems also not being used. I'm going to comment them out all one by one, or the compile time takes pretty long. No, it takes very long. Maybe I should comment out a lot of them and then see if that either works at once or maybe one is still needed. Okay, I had shader info here and shader compiler, spear vcache, uniform buffer base, shader resource base, yeah, and then combined image sampler. Let's just do all of them, I guess. Set key preference. That is kind of the whole list that was added. Combined image sampler is being needed. Oh, and I'll see another one. Set key preference. Though that might be all. These are used for add combined image sampler, or needed, I should say. Uniform buffer base. Yeah, well, symmetrical with this one. You also need uniform buffer base. So, that was it. Remove, not just remove. Fix. Fix me. Ew. Fix me. The shader stage flag should be filled in automatically by the Vulkan engine. Oh. Well, it's immediately a big one. Not something we can do very quickly. We put on some music for myself. So that would be this flag here and this one. Hello, Dunyasi. JavaScript Dunyasi says, I will start learning C++, a language for you, because of me, you mean? But the sources I follow always do simple operations. I want to be a programmer like you. What path should I follow? Uh-oh. Yeah, and then he says he doesn't understand English, so he wants me to type it. The answer. I don't have time for this, really. I'll type something though. I think the trick is to just start and never give up. I only know English sites that have resources to teach one C++. A not horrible one is learn cpp.com. Right, okay. So the idea here is that I would not pass this. And then that it's being filled in somewhere. And well, the only sensible thing that we can say about it is that it should be filled in before we use it. So let's have a look at where it is being used. This is the second argument to the constructor of push constant range. That is this, which quite obviously is just stored in that member. Yeah, Len. I remember when I was not even a beginner anymore, but I was just starting with C. I was already actually pretty old, I think, when I really started seriously learning C. And I have been asking very annoying, stupid questions for at least a whole year. Before, I mean, it did help. I just got stuck on something, and I had a friend who was just very good, and he was also a friend in real life. So I could bother him, but sometimes he said that it was yeah. Also, the same thing. I asked too many questions. So he wanted me to learn, not just answer the current problem, but answer in a way that I understood where it had been going wrong, and then that the next time I could solve it myself. Stupid questions like not realizing that the string had to be null terminated and stuff like that. Well, yeah, that was in the beginning. That was around internet started. So I don't think you really need a friend like that anymore. You can just Google everything. It's all out there. If you have a question, just type it in and you will find it. You might even use ChatGTP, even though it gives wrong answers. You would still, get a stepping stone for the next thing then that you can try out. I prefer, however, that people are just quiet while I'm streaming, because say something in the chat if you really, really want my reaction to it, but it shouldn't be a general question. It should be something about that you saw. Like you see this and you say, why are you using UN32 for M offset? That would be a good question. Not that particular one, but then it's about the project. And if someone asks a general question about C++, then I might know the answer, but it's still not the appropriate place to ask. Okay, this is private, therefore it will not be used anywhere except in this file or in its .cxx file. We don't have any friends. Well, we have a friend, but that will only be reading it. So it can jump to the CXX file. There we see it being used by that friend, and it's being printed. So basically, it's not being used at all. In other words, the only place where it is going to be used by external code is by calling this accessor, and I might as well search for that. Remember, we were looking for where it is being used, so I can initialize it before it is being used. There's one. We're looking for shader stage flags. There's one shader stage flags, also on in pointer. So it's same thing, 2 lines lower again. In line, let's just that's really being passed here. So and that's the implementation or the declaration definition. Let me look at this line here. Definitely using it. And that is the function command buffer push constants. Okay, by the time I'm calling command buffer, we're already rendering, so that is very late. But okay, we can have a look. That you can find it back indeed where we are rendering stuff. Void, what is this? That's what we just looked at, I suppose. Yep. And then I'm Guillaume, I'm gonna ignore that as well. And I have a test here and another test. 2 on a row here. And this is indeed while recording the command buffer, so in the render loop. And then the flat create info is probably going to be before that. This is inside a function. Not a big function. Realize sorted push constant ranges. That's being called just before creating a new graphics pipeline. So I have to initialize it then before calling this, which will definitely happen even before the render loop. So this is the only point that is important. Yeah, so that would be the pipeline factory, of course, creating, you know. And this is then the declaration and blah, blah, blah. This shows the only line here where it's actually being called, which is after all characteristics have been preprocessed. So if I would set those flags during preprocessing, that would be early enough. And I'm pretty sure that that's where we can do it. So I'll just, yeah, well, it has to be done before that, but I don't think we can do it even earlier. So probably we have to set those flags then while preprocessing. So now I go back to yeah, just go back to the beginning. Hello, John. Okay, there's two questions now. How can I access it? So let's say I am preprocessing a shader, and if at all I could figure out these flags there, then I need to set those flags in this object. So I need to make a connection between this declaration here and deep down in the Vulkan engine while we are preprocessing something. And usually you can, like, you need the connection, right? So you can make that connection by following it from both sides. So try to follow it from one side, and then at some point I get lost maybe, and then I follow it from the other side backwards until I get in the same area where I got lost, but hey, I recognize it, and then we have the connection. So first we go forward. By looking where this is being used. Now this is user code, this is a test application. So the random name here is only known to the user and certainly not to the Vulkan engine. This, however, being passed to the Vulkan engine right here, and the other one, nope. The other one in the next line. So these two here. Or not. Oh my god, this is also the random loop. Yeah, well then the way the code is now, it's not possible. Because I'm just passing, I mean, the Vulkan engine doesn't know anything about these variables until we are in the random loop. That's the first time we use them. This is a Vulkan API. Oh, not anymore. I changed that, but okay, super thin wrapper this. It's just passing all the arguments on to the Vulkan API. I'm just trying to think of a way to connect this to information the Vulkan engine already has. Something I seem to remember that you can only use one flag once, so you can only have one range for a specific stage. For example, you would not have, it would not be possible to have a range for N and a range for S separately. Has to be one range. If you need both N and S in a given stage, then yeah, they need a range that contains both. And therefore then also V, if that's in between them. That would mean that I think you need one line, one command buffer push constants call per stage. Or you could combine them if you make the stage, if you make the range overlap two stages at once. So we're registering this push constant with the Vulkan engine. And then that means that these strings have to be used in the shader. Yep, prefix with push constant. So while preprocessing, I do encounter this. In a vertex shader. And we encounter this in the fragment shader. Or here in another fragment shader. This is the same thing. So during preprocessing, I get a list of push constant subranges. I mean, the texture index has an offset in the size within the push constant for each stage. And then from there, I guess I could figure out the best way to create an actual push constant range for every stage. So in this case, it would say this range, that the range belongs to texture index, is only used in the fragment shader. And this range is only used in the vertex shader. They do not overlap. And well, that's it. You're going to have a range with this size and offset with the vertex shader as a flag, and same for that one. But yeah, then we need to do this call. Because these things are just pointers, right? We use as pointers. To pass as a cons reference. Yeah, you take the pointer to it. That is then treated as a void pointer maybe, or as a what pointer? Command bar push constant, last argument. Values. Yeah, I guess if I pass a size, then it's going to be this one. The others pass an array proxy that then includes the size. And I am passing a size, right? Yeah, offset and size. So really we're just calling this one. So it is indeed passes a void pointer. Okay, let's change this. For a start, I'm only going to pass PC and not MX position. That's kind of weird maybe, because you would think that could better if I just pass this and I could then incur the offset and the size from that, and that should be possible. Then yeah, but then I know offset and the size, so I need to know the range, but I don't know those flags. Those flags will have to be filled in somewhere anyway. And then I might as well turn it around and put the offset and the size inside the same object. So this then is really what it says it is. It's a range inside a push constant, including where it is being used, or will be needed. To which stages it has to be visible. So let's do that. I'm going to just pass PC and here as well. And this push constant is still, and it was a template, I hope. Maybe I should change this to PC first. I think that reads better. Yeah, also I could maybe simplify it by storing the graphics pipeline in the command buffer, because apparently that's now my command buffer. Command buffer here, it's an object that I control, so I could store the graphics pipeline, this, in the command buffer. And then I don't have to pass the layout anymore to these functions. Nor here. Well, I guess that's orthogonal to the current problem. We see. Okay, so I want to change this to passing push constant. Then we have T here, which is the push constant, and I put it there. And then this comment is no longer relevant, because I do no longer have duplicated information. Now t is now the full push constant, so there is no longer all that. Oh wait, yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Okay. Apparently, I had the idea that maybe it's interesting to have another struct which is just a part of the whole push constant struct. That would no longer be possible if I do it like this. I don't know what I want. It would be nice if I could check that the memory layout of the range that I pass is exactly what is expected. Currently I was just comparing the size, but just of course more than just the size. Was also, yeah, the fact that it is an int, a float, and a float, right? I mean, and not a float, an int, and a float, or something like that. That wouldn't work. It has to be the same types. I guess that would require knowing this type. If you know the type and the offset, can you figure out what the type is there? I don't think you can. At least not normally. But I should be able to do that. Yeah, but I don't think you can do that at compile time. No. So it would be a runtime check, which is kind of silly. It's being called from the render loop. I just want it to be instant. Have everything available. Okay, let's change it back. So this interface at least allows then to fill, I don't know, make two separate structs. I could do this. I'm using a push constant here, but what I really could do theoretically then now is making a float and an int. Separately, and then that float is being filled with this, and the int is a texture. It's always equal to 1. So we could put now this one outside of the loop, for example. And that is, yeah, just depending on PL. Let's call this exposition texture index. Right, and that, well, that would not have been possible if I only were allowed to pass a PC. So I guess it's a better interface, this. Right, so yeah, I think that the only way then to make this work is by registering these things with the Vulkan engine before preprocessing, so it can fill the it can fill in everything. Let's see if this compiles. I guess it's going to be much like these things. This is also registered somewhere. I guess here. Well, if I add it from the characteristic vertex is something characteristic, then I would immediately know that it is being used by. Although I don't really need that. So I'm adding the push constant here. Well, I'm using the push constant also in the vertex shader. Fragment shader, I mean. Yeah, so okay, that is done in both. I guess it has to be done in both. Okay. Yeah, no, might as well add the ranges here, I guess. And then, like I said, I think there's only one range allowed per stage. So, might as well pass that as an argument. Is that an idea? That seems like an idea, right? So this one is only used in the vertex shader, so why not pass it as an argument here? Seems logical. And then the other one. Yeah. There's an interface idea. And then we have to fix this at push constant. Now takes a range. Being a Vulkan push constant range. We need to. We're going to use it to set a flag, so I have to pass it as a reference. Yeah, that should compile, I guess. Not the other test. No, I have broken other test. Line. Need to go to the header. Find that function back. Window, you can no longer be const. Oh, really? Yeah. This has to be an output. Owning window here is a const pointer. Well, not really. Render pass not. This is a const pointer. Combined with update. I have no idea which. Probably synchronous window, right? No, nonsense. This is a characteristic. Owning window is part of some characteristic. Okay, let's look for a characteristic. Render pass. Combined image sample update, description update. Characteristic range. There it is. And it is unfortunately a const pointer. Yeah. Well, while constructing the characteristic range. Yeah, I can make it. I can probably make it a non-const pointer. Characteristic range. I think I'm passing it. Passing it here to add characteristic, which then constructs it here, passing owning window, which is const of course, which was passed to add characteristic, which is this, which is non-const if this is a non-const member function, and it is a non-const member function. So it wouldn't be too hard to make that non-const pointer, but then the question is, what about thread safety? I mean, if this is the only thing that we write, that's the only thing I have to concentrate on then, but in general, you would say, suddenly everyone can write at the same time to my window then. If I make it non-const, is that what I want? Let's see, the preprocessing is being done by the characteristic itself. So they would go wrong if two characteristics get past the same range. But yeah, I mean, two different characteristic objects, they're really, two different tasks. So they run in parallel. They cannot deal with the same stage. Only one characteristic can work on a stage. But I can imagine that maybe, let's say I have two different tasks, two different characteristics, one for the vertex shader and one for the fragment shader. And then one of them is going to want to set the vertex bit, and the other one, if it passes the same range, they do want to make updates and to the same object, yeah. So what I probably is better to do is make it a thread safe object, and then make it mutable. So that is my abuse of const. I make everything const when it is thread safe. I explain that more often. not explain it again. That seems like the correct thing to do here then. So we keep our const, and we can change it anyway because it is mutable. And then the moment I change it, I just need to lock a mutex because we're changing something that is normally read-only because it is const between fat quotes. However, I definitely do not want my user to be bothered by this. I mean, if we would force the user to make this thread safe and put mutable in front of it and everything, disgusting. Too difficult for the user. So instead of doing that, I have to hide all of that inside the object itself. So yeah, I guess all of this state here must be wrapped in another struct. Let's call that struct unlocked push constant range. And then we're going to have a using data type. Or whatever. That thing. No, that's highly annoying. That means that we need to take a look to get all these accessors, and I bet that normally we need all of them. So I don't want to I don't want to set a lock and then read one thing and then unlock and then lock it again and then read the next one and so on. So maybe I should just pass a read access type or demand that a read access type is being passed. Or I could add an accessor for the unlocked push constant range, of course. But nah, then I would be reading from it. I mean, either then I would have to make a copy of all of it and then read it, or I would pass a pointer and then, no. So I'm gonna pass a read access type, I think. So that would be this. Read, yeah, see red, I guess. So you can only get this type by read locking it. Well, it's a primitive thing, so it's just a mutex. So just by locking the mutex, and then, but although the CRED only gives you a const pointer then, so you can only read it. Well, that's what we do. We just read this. Yeah, now we need to be able to create that. So I think I need to expose the data type, and when I expose it, then it's not a good name anymore. Or is it? That would then be something like public using yeah, wait, just a data type this. But that, and then it's going to be push constant range colon data type. No, I don't like that. Or maybe I should like it. I don't know. Could call it data, capital D. I don't know, man. Yeah, well, let me think about the name later. For now, I'll use data type, although Okay, then that data type and then colon red or whatever. Read access type, and then I need a CRED, and then I need to construct that from this thing. So we need an accessor for that as well then. So that is going to return data type const reference data const turn m data. Right, see, so then this constructing this object here with log the mutex does once, and then while you have the mutex you can access all these accessors. Just read this directly. But we also need a way to update them. So I do need a write access type. I need to be able to create a write access type. That would be more the manipulators. Manipulators. Let's change his name here to read. And I'll make one that is called write. And the difference is that this one is the not const. Which then allows you to create a write access type. And it is allowed to return a non-const reference to mdata while this is const, because this is immutable. I hope. You can just just remove the const at your will. I think it is at least, and if not, I'll add a const cast. And now we need to add manipulators, the actual manipulators. Maybe it should define the CRED without the data type. I don't think this code is needed for the user, so it can be a little bit obscure. I don't think this is mutable, right? This should not be mutable. I mean, it's just set once. You still want to construct these things with the type index. I don't know. Yeah, so some stage, I think these flags are of multiple bits, and I want to just allow a single bit here. So that would be that type. Oops. As in stage. Where do we put the data W? At the end or at the beginning? I think at the beginning. So now you can take the right lock and then extend the range with something. That's the idea. So if I implement that, then I will. At the moment I keep this constructor, so I just set all the correct values. And that means that if I then implemented add range, that every time we call that, it tries to add something that is already there. So it should only be trying to add something where offset is larger or equal the offset that is already set. And oops, the offset plus the size is then less or equal the end that is already set. Yep, as well as, of course, the bit that we're trying to set is already set. So I do shader stage flags, it's stored here. And in stage, I guess we can do that. Now, let's see where that all goes wrong. If I try to compile this. What the hell is a mechanical keyboard? I would rather ask, what is a non-mechanical keyboard? The only good keyboard is one where every time you press your key, you interrupt some light beam. So non-mechanical. That kind of keys you can press 10 billion times and it still works. I think my keys are just capacitors ones. Would that too difficult? Could be just contacts. It's probably just two sheets of plastic with something evaporated on it. And you press on that and it makes contact. That sounds very, very bad. Although, if it measures the capacity, then it would work flawlessly, of course. Almost forever. By the way, if people try to learn from me, I'm doing this wrong. I'm using double quotes whenever it is my header file and angle brackets whenever it's and some external of the project header file. But that's not really how you should do it. I should be using angle brackets also here. The difference between angle brackets and quotes is that if you use double quotes, it will try to find that header in the current directory, in the directory of this.cxx. Or header file. So this file here sits in this directory. So if we use double quotes, it's going to try if the source /vulkan /threadsafe /AI threads safe.h exists, and prefer that if it does exist, then it will use that. Even if you do not include this directory as a header directory with a -i. And yeah, really you should only use double quotes in order to pick up local header files in that same directory. Now in reality this one sits in Linux viewer. So this is the base directory, which I just include with a -i, and then append that and you can find it. What is a mark post on about? I don't think they sound the same. Don't tell me I accidentally said the letter. I don't think I did. I would most definitely go listen back to my stream if you claim that I said that. Yeah, they both end on file. So I don't understand your question, Len. Should we include codes? I don't know what you mean with that. I just have header files and CVP of CXX files. CVP CXX. You want to put all the code in one file? That would be a small project, or an extremely large source file. Yeah, right. Well, I still want to do that. I don't. Maybe. Actually, I have no idea if it works. But let's try this. That's the first one. And the second one. And then the offset and the size. Just like that. Mm. So many typos. Is it bad if I want a glass of wine without eating dinner? It's been standing here for a while. Empty glass as well. I don't have dinner. I think I'll take out some. Let me take some wine. Excuse me for the noise. I had to pump that wine bottle, vacuum again. It's not food. I'm drinking wine, red wine. Push constant range. There's no member named type index. Did you mean type index? Yeah, I shouldn't bring people on ideas because I have not been drinking alcohol until I was, I think, 45 or something like that. And even now I just drink wine and only with dinner usually, like maybe once or at most twice a week, one glass. It does damage your brain, so. And worse, much worse. If you drink it to feel good and you like it, the end of your life is inside. Fortunately, I don't know. If I drink alcohol, I don't feel good, which is probably also why I didn't become an alcoholic. I just get dizzy, but it tastes nice. I remember when I was young, I mean really young, like 13 I think. I think my heart was broken. I was in love with a girl at that age and she didn't want me. So I felt really heartbroken and then I thought, yeah, they have a Dutch saying for that. I don't know how to say it in English, but to drown your sorrow in alcohol. So I picked it up for movies. So what do you do? There's a boy of 13 with a broken heart. Well, I thought, let's drown my sorrow in alcohol because that's what they do in movies. Unbelievable. Movies have a really bad influence. So I took a bottle of beer from the fridge for my father and I drank that on an otherwise empty stomach, the first alcohol in my life. And I felt dizzy like hell and all the sharpness disappeared. Because normally I was super aware of my environment. And no, it was very clear to me. Pure poison. And I never drank alcohol again. It's actually not the first time I drank it. I did drink a little bit of beer when I was 12 during a school party. And then I did feel good. The whole sphere was, good. And I remember that when I drank that and it felt like that, stupid me was thinking, oh, that feels good. I should do that more often. That's the trap of alcohol. Drinking it because you feel good. And then especially there comes a moment in your life, I mean, let's say you're a student in your 20s and you're completely wasted every weekend, and you think that's normal, which it isn't. And then you get your heart broken, or something goes wrong. You lose your job, something goes wrong in your life, and then you decide to get rid of your depression and your bad feeling by drinking a lot of alcohol. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. That's where it really goes wrong. The big mistake with alcohol. Start drinking it when you have depression. Then you become an alcoholic. Yes, Mark, it is. It's literally poison. Your body has to work very hard to get rid of it. I mean, for the same, what is it? For the same money, or what is the expression? You would feel absolutely horrible sick. It's just, yeah, by coincidence that your brain reacts in a stupid way on it. But that's the whole thing of addiction, right? It's really bad for you, but your brain thinks it's good. So you program your brain to think that something that is bad for you, that it is good. It's not a natural thing. We didn't evolve around alcohol, otherwise we would be disgusted by it. I have to say, I still don't drink coffee. I was also pretty young when I decided that. We were going back from Switzerland to the Netherlands by car with the family, and we were trying to. My parents were driving, and they were trying to do it in one day. So we're driving all day. All night even, to continue driving all night. And then it became morning again, and we only had maybe 100 kilometers to go, so 1 hour. But I just had to have coffee. They just had to have coffee. I mean, not like, oh, we've been driving all night, let's eat breakfast or something like that. No, the only word that we were talking about. Sorry, but we must have coffee. So they went off the highway and wherever they had coffee, to drink coffee. And that's when it's clicked to me how bad coffee is, how addictive it is, that they couldn't even drive the last 100 kilometers to home. And that's when I decided never to drink coffee, and I didn't. But yeah, a little coffee is, of course, let's say 1 cup of coffee every day. If you just do that your whole life, it's, of course, neglectable bad compared to alcohol. But when I was 15, I had a friend who was addicted to coffee. He was drinking 8 cups of coffees a day. And when the coffee machine at school was broken, then he started to drink gallons of cola. Just to get his caffeine intake. That's not normal. And then at his age, no. Only thing I'm addicted to is programming. I forgot what I was doing. This was has no memory. Yeah, that's correct. It doesn't. It's pretty annoying. The order in which push constant range objects are sorted is described in flat create info get sorted push constant ranges. That's the problem with locking, making a thread safe. You cannot access it at all anymore. This is also not what I wanted. Is there a reason? This ordering is probably used because I'm storing push constant range in some kind of container. While that container is being locked, for example, I shouldn't have to lock each push constant range one after another. The only thing I really wanted to lock was the user object, not whatever this is. So I guess I did it wrong. Where is this being used? Is not a question. Man, that's stored in a lot of places. Vectors. Another vector. Here's it passed to characteristic data cache. Nope, I should not have made those changes that I made. I think we need a separate object. Just leave the push constant, this one alone. And then give the user access to something that is what I'm writing now. A wrapper around a AI thread safe push constant range. Nevertheless, let me check what that less than is being used by removing it temporarily. Yeah, okay, let's comment this out as well. Required from blah 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 blah. Required from. That is needed. required from here. More about less than that it cannot use. Yeah, there's a required from here, another required from here. Add push constant 73, and the one that I had was 71. Ooh, really? Equal range. Okay, yeah, insert. Okay, that's about M-sorted push constant ranges. That's the standard set. So that would require comparing. Yep. Called from push constant or declaration context. The reset push constant ranges. Copy it. Okay. Looks all pretty hidden to me. Plus, it's just a completely different thing, right? Although, yeah, the insert here is interesting. So, insert push constant range. I'd like to see what that is being called from. It is pretty very close to where we can detect all this stuff. So during pre-processing we get here. Right. What did I change? Let's make a copy of this work. Mark, drugs is bad for you. Push constant range to pipeline, yeah. And then I have to add namespace pipeline everywhere. Well, after editing this, it's unbelievable that I have fix me's that take me a month to fix. This won't be a month, but just I've had a few fix me's that were like huge projects to get them working, to get them removed. So annoying. Yeah, that would be nice if an AI would be able to help with this, because it's mostly stupid work, like move this class to a different namespace and directory. Why should I have to do that? It's a template. Okay, I have to add it in a line now. What the? Try that immediately. No, yeah, it gets better. I mean, I don't even feel anything, actually, but I did before, and now I don't feel anything anymore. So it's like only 1% is left. This is inside pipeline. I already changed this file. This is push console. Yeah, hello. Flat create info. This is inside pipeline. Guess nothing has changed then. Yep. That's not inside pipeline then, I guess. I think it's time to stop. It's 10 p.m. You just joined again. Let me guess, you just joined. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Don't you think 2.5 hours is enough for poor Carlo? I have, but by now I don't have any idea anymore what I'm doing. Should this be push constant ranges or pipeline or Vulkan or what is it? What are we adding here? Flat create info add vector push. I guess yeah, I guess that's right. Push constant range is not a member of Vulkan. No, I should just remove everything. Or I should just change all of them into pipeline push constant range. And then maybe change it back later on. Except this one. That must be Vulkan. Namespace Vulkan. How did that even compile? Task pipeline factory. So apparently it's known. Guess one of these things includes a pipeline factory. Yeah, it's secret development at A4. It's going to be the next big thing, the Vulkan engine. Just when you learned Vulkan, I think you are set for the future. Man, what am I doing here? Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow.